Hey everybody, this is Blue. Well, I want to continue on with my little spiritual quest. This is stuff that I am focused on in my real life. This is not just something that I am telling everybody else they have to do. This is something that I have to do myself as well. I think that it's very important that we are honest with each other when it comes to our spirituality. Now, this topic is also a lesson from Oberon Zell's A Guide for the Apprentice Wizard. Okay, sorry. Anyway, this one's lesson 8 is tribal values. Now, this is important because we try to talk about a pagan witch community. And we cannot have a pagan witch community if we do not have tribal rules, tribal goals, a tribal sense amongst us. You see, this goes specifically to all of you out there that are claiming to be shamans but are solitary as well. You cannot be a solitary shaman. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Shamans work out for the tribe because to them it is very community. And so if you are proclaiming to be a solitary shaman, you're not getting it. Okay, rethink whatever the heck you're doing, because you can't be a solitary shaman, because they go on their spirit quests and that for members of the tribe. And we're talking about tribal values. Okay. Outside the boundaries of civilization and empire, the people of the country have always lived in clans, tribes, and villages, small groups, okay? As many traditional people still do today, okay? And we are, as a pagan and or witch community, are a very small, loose grouping of people, okay? Other tribal peoples, such as the Gypsies and the Diasporic Jews, have been displaced from their homelands by conquered and scattered amongst other nations, where they have lived as guest people. Well, you know what? We kind of living that way too, because our beliefs are not accepted as mainstream, and so we have to kind of pick and choose amongst the Christians on what we can say and do. All right. What has held all such tribes together has been shared values that cannot be stolen away or overthrown. Okay, we talk about our traditions, with Yule just passed by. That's one of our traditions. That is something we share, that most pagans have some inkling, a connection to Yule. And so this is something we all share. We all have some form of respect, reverence for it. And so that's what helps makes us a community. Okay. These Okay, there's my place. These values are passed down in myths, legends, and fairy tales. They are not based on beliefs, as religions are, but upon customs and traditions which promote social cohesion. Okay. There are several such values that appear to be universal amongst tribal people, which are well worth remembering and holding to. Some of these are, okay, honor, keeping your word. Okay. All of this whole list, I'm sorry, I can skip around a little. This whole list are character traits that we need to build upon. These are things that we have to develop if we are wanting a pagan witch community. You cannot act like an ungrateful punk and then expect to be welcome into a community. A community shares its values and all that. And so we have to develop these in ourselves so that we can share ourselves with other people that are like us, people in our community. Okay? So there's honor, keeping your word. Okay? Loyalty, faithfulness in defense and support of your own. You know, when Christians attack a fellow pagan, there are some of us who will stand up and fight for them. That is a part of our loyalty. Unfortunately, there are some people that kind of take the online life as not meaning very much, and they say, well, my online life and my mundane life are two separate things, and so they don't develop a loyalty. You know, they could say one thing online that they can't or will not ever say in their mundane life. But the fact is that how we act online is a reflection on the person we are. The only difference is that many of us believe that we can say whatever we want because we don't have to worry about any repercussions of our actions. But I want to tell you that's wrong. I have made mistakes on my online life. Many years ago, I was a very angry person, and I was not the loyalist person. I was not the person that I wanted to be today. And so I burned bridges. And so this is why I'm taking this right here. I burned bridges. I screwed up. I pissed people off that I really wish I didn't. And so by doing this, I'm hoping that in time I can mend some bridges. Okay? Integrity is walking our talk. Too many people want to make so many bullshit claims and all that. But they don't have the strength, the integrity to do as they say. Okay? This again, one of the mistakes I've made. And so we have to learn integrity so that other people from our communities can trust us, so that they're going to take the time to know us so that we can be a better person, people, community. Honesty, not lying, cheating, or stealing. Well, this isn't obvious here. Of course, we don't want to do that because, you know, if nobody can trust you because you lack honesty, you will always be an outsider to the community. Respect, courtesy, consideration of others. Respect is not owed, it is earned. All you have to do is give somebody a chance, at least one chance, to show them how you're going to treat them and to see how they're going to treat you. But it is great if we are to develop a respect for each other in many ways so that we can build our community. Fairness, being just and impartial to all. This is something that's majorly important because we have a lot of people that imply double standards. I do that from time to time, and I am trying to reduce it. But if we are going to have rules, we have to imply them onto everybody equally. We can't go, well, that's my friend, and so he doesn't have to do this rule, but I don't know you. You're going to follow it, you know, to an absolute T. We can't do that. Fairness means that we got to tell our family, our friends, strangers the same thing and treat them all the same in many respects to life. Gratitude, thankful appreciation. In this day and age, we have a lot of people that don't know how to say thank you. We are so wrapped wrapped up in the here and now that sometimes we don't show that little bit of gratitude towards somebody, and so that causes some hostilities and lack of trust. And so being grateful sometimes is important, and I think that needs to be learned. Hospitality, courtesy to guests and hosts. It is important that we show manners and being respectful um, to everybody when we are hosts and when we are guests. Okay? And hospitality is sometimes offering a little bit of something to help somebody out, um, or thanking somebody when they did the same thing for you. Generosity, the willingness to give and share. I think this is important. At work, we've been having some bad days, which is a little short-handed. And so I have been working a lot of overtime. And this helps out everybody. This helps out the guys that I take care of, and it helps out my coworkers. And all I ask for them in return is when I need the time off, please let me get it. That is my willingness to give. I'm giving up my time to help people out. Okay? Reverence, honoring that which is sacred. I have to bring up her name. Emily, who is somebody that I've had some issues with over the years. She seems to lack reverence. She is constantly changing her beliefs. One weekend she's Hindu or Christian, pagan, whatever. If something is supposed to be sacred, treat it with respect. Okay? That there's a lot of people that I know in the pagan witch communities that treat things as sacred and show the proper respects. But unfortunately, there is a lot of people also that don't know how to treat something as sacred. I have to remember my Pokemon video. What I was referring to is that you have to build a relationship with the deities. If you believe in that deities can exist, they should be considered something sacred. Okay? So you don't treat them like a Pokemon where, oh, this situation came up and the best god or goddess to help me is Hecate. Hey, Hecate, I choose you. That is not showing reverence to something that is sacred. This is supposed to be a deity, something that is above us, and thus treat it with reverence. Reciprocity. Oh gosh. Reciprocity. Sorry. Giving and receiving value for value. Again, this is about kinship. Sometimes we help out, and sometimes we get helped. It is to show value into that. There are a lot of wonderful people out there that give, and so we need to sometimes remember them and give back to them. They need to see a return on their investment into everybody. Responsibility, accepting the consequences of the actions. There is a great deal of lack in responsibility I see in the pagan witch communities. We act for the here and now, and we seem to ignore everything that else around us. We're not taking responsibility for our actions. What helps me out today will be forgot about tomorrow. If you screw something up today, you're just going to walk away, oh, not me, and let somebody else pick up the pieces. We can't do that. Responsibility is long-term pictures here. So if we do something and it causes pain and suffering a couple months from now, we're still responsible for that. And so we have to learn to take responsibility, and when something goes wrong, to do our best to fix the problem. Resourcefulness, the ability to deal effectively with challenges. We have to sometimes go out of our box, out of our comfort zone to resolve situations, to help people out. Um, you know, when you think about our UPGs here, sometimes we hit roadblocks. Something just does not make sense, and we're trying to resolve this situation. It is our resourcefulness that takes the information from around us, and we can then come up with a strategy, a resolution, and we handle the situation. That is resourcefulness. Are you resourceful enough to handle your problems, or are you just going to turn and run away? If you turn and run away, you are not helping your community, your tribe. You need to show resourcefulness to help keep the tribe, the community together, to help it grow. Interdependence, cooperation. We're all in this together, which is true. We are all in this together. We have to think about everybody in the pagan witch community. I focus on those that are more new and young to the pagan community, pagan witch ways, because I don't want to see the young people who haven't had a chance to learn to be taken advantage of. Okay, and so that's why I make many of my videos, is I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to protect them. This is my cooperation with them. They might not realize it, but sometimes I'm just trying to give that little bit of advice that's going to stop them from going through a hell of a lot of pain. But community is dependent on cooperation. So if I have a question on Kemetic witchcraft, well, I'm going to talk to Zabora, because that's something she's really good at. And so we will work together and we will resolve my questions, the things that I don't know. And so there are people in this pagan witch community that know a great deal about things. And so we have to work together. I'll help that person will help me. And together we are stronger, and we build a good tribe, a good community. Just as the Code of Chivalry was a set of rules for independent heroes and champions, mostly regarded how to treat strangers, tribal values are the explanations for people living together and believing with each other on a daily basis. We may notice, however, that they are complementary, and there is a good deal of overlap. These values are what your parents are supposed to teach you, and that you will, in turn, will teach your children. And by living them, we live well. Okay. Like I said, I've made some mistakes over the years, and so I have to remind myself of these characteristics that I have to have. And slowly, I will mend some fences, because you can apologize. Sometimes you can't fix them all, but you have to try. You have to put out the effort. So everybody, please look at what is up above from Oberon Zell's A Grimoire for the Apprentice Wizard, and see the lesson that he has here. To be a community, to be a tribe, we have to develop these traits to know ourselves. Now, and this is my final part here. I've been doing this spirituality here because we have to know ourselves. We have to come to oneness. We have to know who we are. And the only way that we can do that is to question ourselves and to develop ourselves. Once we are able to develop ourselves, we are going to have more strength in ourselves so that when we go out in the world, we perform magic, or we are in a situation and we have to depend upon our beliefs, we have the strength of ourselves to fall back upon, and we will succeed. So everybody, I want to thank you for listening to my speech, my spew. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday, a wonderful day. Take care. Be at peace.